Good morning, everyone. Leslie Myrick here, interior designer and business coach with Nancy Ganzikoffer. It is Monday, so this is our Monday Makeover series with Robin White from RDW Design Studio. Welcome, Robin.
Thanks, Leslie. Great to be here. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. We just got a puppy on Friday, so I'm like, I know it's been exciting, and I'm like, I hope she's paying attention here, but also like, where's the dog? What's she doing? So it's a good
Right,
Monday around
exactly.
here. It's full of puppy snuggles, but
Puppies
I
are so
am
fun. That's exciting.
I know. But we're not talking about puppies today. Sorry, everybody. We're talking about website conversion rates, which stick
Yay.
around because it is as fun as puppies, or we're going to make it as fun as puppies because this
We'll
stuff
try
is really,
to.
really important.
Yeah.
So, Robin, okay, tell us a little bit. First of all, why do we care about website conversion rates? Because people hear terms like that and they just go like, bleh. But this
Right.
means something, and it doesn't have to be this scary technical thing. Like, say it in a way that designers can understand. What is this and why do we care?
Sure. So conversion rates are really the number of people who are taking the action on your website that you want them to take. So every website should have a primary call to action, the main
Okay.
thing that you want a visitor to do. There can be secondary calls to action as well. So let me give some examples that could work for interior designers. Primary call to action is most likely to contact you, whether that be telephone, email, schedule a discovery call, fill out your contact form, something like that. That's
Okay.
usually your primary call to action. Secondary call to action could be something like sign up for my email newsletter or get my lead magnet if email marketing is something that's important to you, right? So just to give an
Yeah.
example of a primary and a secondary. And then what you want to measure ideally, and you can do this through Google Analytics. You can use Google Search Console as well, but seeing how many people are visiting your website
Okay.
in relation to how many people are actually taking that action that you want them to take,
So when we say
right?
conversion, it means people coming and converting, doing the thing that you want them to do, whether
Doing
it's
the thing that
downloading,
you
whether
want
it's
them to do.
contacting you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. That makes
yeah.
sense.
And then your conversion rate will depend tremendously on A, the messaging on your website, and B, the design of your website. So the journey that you're taking visitors on. So if you are seeing, let's just use small numbers, 10
Okay.
people visit your website per month, and one person fills out your contact form, that is a 1% conversion rate. Um, correct?
Wouldn't that
Am
be
I doing
10%?
that? Is it a 10%
Yeah.
conversion rate? Yes. Which is actually quite high.
That is high. I was going to say
Yes.
that.
Yes. So you want to look at it if you're getting 1,000 visitors to your website per month and one person filling out your contact form, then there could be a disconnect
Yeah.
between who you are attracting to your website and what's happening when they're on your website, right? So
Meaning they're getting there and somehow it's not what they
not
expected.
connecting.
It's not
Yeah.
connecting with them. It's not loading. So they can't even possibly convert because they
Yeah.
can't do the thing that they need to do. Okay.
Yeah. Things like that. The design is not resonating with them. The messaging isn't resonating with them, whatever it might be. So
Okay.
there's lots of different things that it could be. But to that end, your homepage, which is what we're going to be talking about today, is really the beginning of how you convert somebody because the majority of people will enter your website through your homepage. So
Yeah.
it's the most important page on your website because it's the first impression you're making. It's kind of like your home's curb appeal, right? If you put your home on the market and the curb appeal is not there, people might just drive by
Yeah.
and not even stop to go in to see it. And your homepage is kind of the same thing.
That's interesting. I like that analogy. I hadn't thought of it like that
You.
before.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. So today we're doing a mini audit of Contemporary Luxe's homepage. And Olya, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Thank you for volunteering this morning. I
Hmm.
appreciate that. And I'll just do a little plug. If anybody else would like to volunteer their website or a page of their website for our Monday makeovers, pop me a message, pop Leslie a message, put something in the comments here. I think we are
Mm-hmm.
looking for March or April right now. We've had a lot of volunteers
Awesome.
recently, which is awesome. But if we take a look at Olya's homepage, and here we are in, her hero section. This is the first thing that you see above the fold before you scroll down.
Yep.
I love that she's got her menu at the top. And I have to say, this whole area is designed beautifully. I love the subtle lines that you can see. I love that the menu is not taking up a lot of space. You can see underneath home, there's a little triangle, which is called a caret. And that's sort of the hover effect when you move to the other pages, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So really nice. Something I would suggest is potentially adding her business name or logo to that top area where the menu is, because there isn't anything there right now. And that can be a
Yeah.
good thing to have there. Um, Beautiful imagery of her work here, really
Mm-hmm.
stunning. I love that it has this sort of dark feeling to it. It's very modern and bold.
Yeah.
One thing I do advise against is a slider, which she has here. And there's a couple of reasons why. Number one is everybody's in a rush. Everybody's
Mm.
scrolling through quickly. Chances are they're only seeing the first slide with the first image and the first bit of wording. And the other images and the other words that she has overlaid are getting missed. So
Okay.
if
So
you are
one strong hero image is a better idea than a slider that's going to keep playing multiple images.
exactly. And the other
Okay.
reason I advise against sliders is they can slow down your website. And the last
Yeah.
thing you want, especially on your homepage, is slow page load time. So I suggest one strong image. Choose what you consider to be your best work, along with what you want to attract more of. So if you want more kitchens, put a kitchen there. If you
Mm.
don't want kitchens, don't put a kitchen there. So think strategically about what kind of image is going there. And then for the words, what you want to have here, not necessarily your business name. That's why I suggest having that up in the very top by the menu. You don't want to waste this prime real estate with your business name. What you really want to
Mm.
have here is a strong statement to pull people in and let them know they're in the right place. So you can think about what you do, who you do it for, and how it helps. And again, I'm not a copywriter, so I'm not going to come up with anything creative, but you want to think along those lines. And then also, SEO tip, this is where you want the keyword phrase that you're trying to rank for here. And what I recommend doing on your homepage is picking primary service, such as interior design, interior
Mm-hmm.
designer, plus primary location. So you want to have that at the very top of the page. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So she could add a little bit more in the copy and, and I don't know, interior designer in New York City serving blah, blah, blah. And if anyone here has done Nancy's Your Business in Words exercise to come off the elevator pitch, taking part of that is perfect for
Yes.
this bit of copy that's
Absolutely
right at the
perfect.
top of your homepage.
Absolutely perfect. And then one other little thing I'll mention is Olya
Mm,
has her social media links on the left right there going up the
yes.
side. And while I love that design effect with the words looking like that, I highly recommend not having links to social media at the top of your homepage. Reason being, the last thing we want is someone to land on your website and bounce off to go to Instagram. Also, I highly recommend not putting a link to your house listing on your website. The last thing you want to do is have somebody click on house and go to a
Uh,
directory of other interior designers. The goal of house and social media is to drive traffic to your website, not vice versa, unless the primary goal of your website is to drive traffic to Instagram.
I love
I
that.
don't.
And that caught me by surprise. You mentioned this before about not having social media above the fold, like right when you first get to the page, because I've seen that and I assumed it was kind of a best practice. And when we did my website homepage audit, that's one of the first things you said to me. And I was like, oh, I thought I was doing so good. So I
Yeah.
agree. And I think people want to know, they want to be able to connect with you. And even if they don't convert right now, that's a way to build that relationship and have those touch points. But I think that's great so it's more appropriate, you'd say, like in a footer, like at the bottom of the page usually, or somewhere else on the homepage.
Yeah, I like to see it in the footer, and then you can put it in the body of the contact page. The reason I don't like it at the top of the homepage is, again, sometimes people are rushed and
Hmm.
scattered, and we don't want them to be like, oh, Instagram, and click off, because what
Yeah.
that sends as a message to Google is your content wasn't what they were looking for,
So they
right?
left.
They have now bounced
Yeah.
off. You now have a higher bounce rate. We don't know if they're coming back, or are they
Hmm.
now getting distracted by the messages that they have in their Instagram account, which are coming up
Yeah.
when they go to your account, and they're never coming back to your website. Yeah.
Great tip. So that's going to help improve conversion by not directing people away from you. So the menu is great because it's directing people within your site, but you don't want links that are sending people away from your site.
Relevant links that are sending them away is good, but maybe not right at the top of the
Hmm.
homepage. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, couple of little things, but otherwise really
Yeah.
beautifully done. And if we move down to the next section, I love that she's got a photo of herself and her name and her title. I think it's great that she has a quote, but what I would rather see here is something that's a little more client centric in terms of the words. The layout
Mm.
I love the subtle background image. It looks like a blueprint or a floor
Hmm.
plan or something. So design-wise, I think it's done really wonderfully. Messaging-wise, I think perhaps something that's a little more client-centric, maybe about positioning herself as the guide and the authority, really showing how she can help, that she understands what her target audience is dealing with and why they might be looking to reach out to her now. That
Hmm.
pulls them in. Like, the goal of each section is to get the visitor to move on to the next section.
That makes sense. I do see here, Robin, she's got interior design services in Atlanta, Georgia. So
Yeah.
she has done a little bit of it, but it's a bit further down than you recommend, correct?
Yes. Well, I'd like
Okay.
to see it here as well, but I want to
Okay.
see it in the very top. Yeah. Also.
Gotcha.
Yes. So that's really well done. Thank you for pointing that out. And again, this is a really beautifully designed section. If we
Hmm.
take a look at it, I absolutely love the button. If you see where it says our design process, it has a really lovely hover effect. I really like
Hmm.
the sort of double line on the bottom and the right. Design is beautiful. The circular image, the
Yeah.
2-column layout, she's doing a fantastic job with font
Yeah.
hierarchy. Everything's pretty legible, like easy to read. So really well done there.
Hmm.
I'm just trying to think if there was anything. I don't really think that she needs to change anything here. It's great that she's linking to another page on her website. That's
Yep.
what we want to do from our homepage. So really well done.
Love it.
Yep. Yep. Here we've got sort of a portfolio section, and I love that she's showcasing some of her work here. There's a hover image effect, so you can see, what it is. I believe, let's not do it, but I think if you click, it will take you to that project page. The
Yes,
one
it
thing
looks like it will.
Yeah, the one thing I would recommend not doing is having a load more button on your homepage. I would say pick 3 images. That's
Mhm.
fantastic. And instead of load more, I would say, view our portfolio and have that button linked to your main portfolio page. And then
I like
that's
that.
where you want to showcase everything and maybe make use of load more. But on the
Yep.
homepage, let's keep it a little more short and sweet.
Great.
Yeah, yeah, but really lovely. And then she's got a services section. And again, this is laid out really nicely. She explains what her 3 services are, what's included. There's
Mhm.
another nice hover effect. When I clicked on the read more buttons, they all go to the same page. So my
Yes.
recommendation is to get rid of those. And Leslie, if you don't mind scrolling down just a smidge, there, I would leave that button, read more about our services. We don't need 4 different links in the same
Hmm.
area going to the same exact page. And I actually prefer learn more versus read more. I'm not sure what you think about that.
That's an interesting point. I
Mhm.
think learn more seems more expansive and action taking, and read more is just like, all right, we're going to read it. So what? And it's
Yeah.
subtle. I've never thought about that. But yeah, my first thought was read more seems kind of okay, but learn more, there's kind of this openness and almost excitement
Yes.
in
And to me,
okay,
read more sounds like work,
yes. And we
right?
want to make this
Oh,
easy for our
we
clients.
yeah, we wanna make it easy. So
Hmm.
I feel like that subtle just changing of that one word might help, quite a bit. But again, I like the use of icons up there.
Hmm.
It's and again, you can see that sort of subtle background, blueprint kind of floor plan image that she uses throughout.
Yeah.
It's really lovely. I mean, design-wise, this is done, I think, fantastically. So,
It
just
feels
a
very
couple.
on brand from, or at least what I'm interpreting as her brand. Like there's
Yeah.
no ambiguity as to what her vibe is.
It's very cohesive,
Yeah.
which I really like, very consistent, so that's really well done because that's important and we don't always see that, but
Yeah.
it your brain does pay attention to that even if it's
Mhm.
subconsciously.
Yeah.
So, really well done with that. Yeah.
Nice.
And then here we've got a call to action, which is great. She's asking people to get in touch with her. I really like that. I might consider maybe a more compelling message than get incredible minimalist interior design, only because we really want people to click. I'm guessing this is the main goal of her website is for people to get in touch. So sometimes the wording there can really make a difference. I also like to see testimonials near the primary call to action because, again, that strong sales pitch that's in clients' words, not your own words, talking about you, can sometimes be
Mhm.
that push over the edge that people need to actually click, get in touch, and actually get in touch with you. So I might, and I know she's got some testimonials a little lower down. So I would either consider moving them potentially closer to here
Mhm.
or moving this down closer to them. I think
Yeah.
that can help with conversions.
I think that's great, and I agree with you about updating this wording a little bit because my first thought when I scanned it, I thought it was gonna be an email sign up, like get design tips or something. So I
Yeah.
do think a subtle change there could really make it more compelling to
Mhm.
get people to start converting and click that get in touch button.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And then I like here, we've got another photo of her, a message from her. Again, it's laid out really nicely. We've got that subtle background image, good
Mhm.
use of font hierarchy. The one little thing that I would say is I'd love to see the contact us button um, left aligned with the text because everything
Okay,
in that
rather than
phone is
centered.
a tiny little thing. Yeah. And
Mhm.
rather than contact us, because we just had a contact us button right above here, I'd like
Mhm.
to see this button go to her about page, learn more about the designer, right?
I like that.
Yeah. Because again, I like to see the homepage be somewhat of a vertical menu. So we're doing a little intro and then linking to the other primary pages of your website. Yep. So otherwise, really nicely done. And
Great.
testimonial section, fantastic. I like the way it's laid out. Again, good font hierarchy. She's got a lot of testimonials. She has a slider here. So
Mhm.
really nicely done. Again, my only thing is maybe moving this a little closer to that main get in touch call to action.
Yeah. And this slider is okay here versus the image slider
Yeah,
at the top?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. She's got
For
great
sure.
testimonials.
Yep, yep, really nice, and quite a
Okay.
few of them. And then if we just look really quickly at the footer section, it's wonderful that she's got her house awards here. That's a really nice place to put them. I would love to see her social media links here, and she does have them. Actually, you can see the Facebook and the Instagram. I
Mhm.
like that she has it to the top arrow because there isn't a menu down here. So that way, if someone's gotten to the bottom of the page and they want to click over to the services page, they can easily click
Mhm.
the arrow, get up there. great that she's got her contact information here. And the wording that she has in the center could actually be something that she could use for the main call to action.
I really
So she
like it.
Me too. Me too. So maybe just a little bit of tweaking. I think that could be really good. And then I know there is a contact form on the contact page. So we need to have a privacy policy here. Yeah.
Okay, you're
Won't
right. I
see
don't
on
see
every
that here.
website, and you know I always harp on this, Leslie. But your business needs certain legal policies depending on what state you're operating business in, what kind of
Mhm.
business you have, what kind of personal information you're collecting. But if you have a contact form, you absolutely need a privacy policy.
Awesome.
Yeah. And a link to that should go in the footer. And then, yeah, just to talk about SEO really quickly, because your homepage
Mhm.
is in Google's eyes the most important page of your website and the page that Google always favors. So really important if you're trying to rank for any type of keywords and show up in any type of organic searches, this is the #1 page to focus on. So I always recommend primary service, primary location. We definitely want that to be in a heading at the very top, in another heading on the page, and then
Mhm.
in the body text. And there's no specific number of times it needs to appear. It's kind of a ratio based on the word count on the page. So obviously, if
Okay,
we've got 300 words on the page, we want it to appear less than if we have 1,500 words on the page.
gotcha.
So you kind of have to figure that out based on the content. Yeah.
Awesome. So, I mean, there's a science to this, but it's a lot of
Mhm.
art, isn't it?
Yes,
And
it's an art
yeah.
and a science. Yeah, and the design and the copy, the messaging, the
Yeah.
words that really go hand in hand and need to work together. If you have a fabulous design and your messaging doesn't speak to your ideal client, you won't convert, and
Yeah.
vice versa. If you have fantastic messaging, bad photography, and a bad design, people are gonna leave right away, and you
Yeah.
won't
You
convert.
need that complete package.
Mhm. Yeah, and the trifecta is really then branding as well, because
Yeah.
like we saw on Olia's homepage, her branding is spot on.
It's beautiful.
It
Yeah.
is beautiful. Your colors and your fonts need to seamlessly and cohesively work together with the design and the
Yeah.
messaging to resonate with your ideal clients, and hers really does. She's done a lovely job.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a beautiful website. Your tips are
Mhm.
fantastic, Robin, and thank you for sharing those because I know in my own business, I'm so close to my own website. It's hard to see it from someone else's perspective. I know it so well. I know the image, like it's my baby.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
a wonderful thing to be able to have someone else objectively share these tips and ideas. So thank you. I think those are gonna be some great improvements. And they're gonna be subtle. Like you're not gonna go to Olia's website and have it look entirely different, but
Oh,
subtle changes have a big impact on
yeah.
conversion.
It's just some little tweaks to maybe
Yeah.
just take it to the next level, but really well done right now. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you, Robin. Any last tips or thoughts about improving website conversion rates that we should
Gosh.
know or anything, any action people can take on their own websites that might be helpful?
I would say the top 2 things you can do immediately to improve conversion rates is
Mhm.
really focus on the words that you're using above the fold, because that's super important. If that doesn't resonate immediately with people when they land on your website in those first few seconds, they're
Mhm.
gonna leave. So you've got to capture their attention then and there. And then I would say make sure that you've got figured out what your primary call to action is and that you are using that throughout your website, guiding people politely and nicely to
Yeah.
take action, making it really simple for them to contact you or get to your contact form, whatever the case may be. Yeah.
Nice. That's great.
Simple, clear, easy. That will help with conversions immediately.
And I think that's such a good tip because simplicity is hard and it's easy to overcomplicate and overdo, and it's quite hard to pull back and simplify. So that's a great
Especially
tip.
since
Less
we're
is
all
more.
creative. Less is more. You
Mhm.
wanna be, um, use the conventional words and be creative in another place. Yeah. Make it very simple, easy, and crystal clear. Yeah. Clear, not
Love it.
clever. That's what I always like to say. Yeah. And think
No, and we all
about,
want to be clever, but clever is
yeah,
confusing on a website.
can a
Mhm.
third grader understand what you're trying to get across? Think like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Simple and clear.
I love it.
Mhm.
Thank you, Robin. Those were great insights. I always
You're
appreciate you
welcome.
being here and sharing your expertise. And we will see you again next month for another website audit, I believe.
Yes, you will. Thanks, Leslie.
All
Have a
right.
great
Thanks,
day.
Robin. You too. Thanks, everyone, for being